Hello comparison test viewers, and welcome back to another All Cars Everyday video. I'm standing here with the 2020 Buick Encore GX, which is a brand new model for this year. However, it's also being sold in conjunction with the 2020 Encore, the more standard model. So which of these two SUVs is the better choice for you? Now, this is the more traditional Encore that last received an update in 2017, but it's being sold at the same time that the Encore GX is, which is probably causing some confusion as to which Encore is the best choice for you. In today's comparison, we're going to evaluate the two Encores against each other in 7 different categories at the same preferred trim level with all-wheel drive to see which is the best option for you. With that, let's get right into our first area of evaluation, which is going to be value. The Encore Preferred All-Wheel Drive has an MSRP of $27,095. This is the only trim Encore you can get in the 2020 model year that comes with all-wheel drive. On the outside of the vehicle, there are 18-inch machined alloy wheels with light argent metallic pockets, LED DRLs with halogen headlights, and heated side mirrors. Up top, there are roof rails, and the Encore has a keyless open system that allows owners to enter the vehicle without fumbling with the fob to unlock the car. This wraps up the exterior features on the Encore, besides chrome inserts in the grille and on the door handles. On the inside, the Encore has cloth upholstery on the seats, but a leather-wrapped steering wheel. The driver gets a 6-way power seat, and the passenger gets a 2-way manual seat, which to me is somewhat unacceptable even at the relatively inexpensive $27,000 MSRP. When it comes to technology features, the Encore scrapes by in 2020 with a 4.2-inch LCD screen in the gauge cluster, serving as the driver information center displaying odometer, media, Bluetooth, and other features. In the center stack is an 8-inch infotainment screen. Fortunately, the Encore does have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto on that screen. Plus, the vehicle has a Sirius XM subscription and a 4G LTE Wi-Fi hotspot. All of this media playing capability runs through the Encore's standard 6 speakers. There isn't much when it comes to traditional convenience features on the Encore, with single-zone manual climate control, push-button start, and a driver's side express window. The brand new Encore GX Preferred All-Wheel Drive starts at an identical price of $27,095, but you can also get the GX All-Wheel Drive in Select and Essence trims. I'm not quite sure why Buick offers both the Encore and the Encore GX for the 2020 model year. To me, the GX is the obvious overhaul of the Encore line. It's just the next generation of the model that happens to also have a sporty trim. The standard Encore's trim lines have been reduced in number and feature content relative to 2019 and previous years, so you would think it fills the entry-level starting point for this SUV, but you can get the same trim GX for the exact same MSRP. And as we're about to discuss, the GX offers more features for the same money. On the outside, the GX has the same size wheels at 18 inches, but they are bright silver painted. It also has halogen headlights and LED DRLs, though the actual units themselves have been updated over the standard Encore. Heated mirrors, keyless entry, and halogen tail lamps are found here as well. On the outside, the only differences are the fact that the GX doesn't have roof rails, but it does have LED fog lights. And of course, the styling is different, but we save that for a different part of this comparison. On the inside, the Encore GX has cloth leatherette upholstery and a leather-wrapped steering wheel. The driver's seat has the same 6 ways of power adjustment, but the passenger seat got an upgrade with 4 ways of manual adjustment. It can also fold flat in the GX, so interior packaging can be more flexible. The GX has a similar gauge cluster and center stack, with the same LCD screen in the middle of the gauges, as well as Apple CarPlay and Android Auto in the 8-inch infotainment screen. Bluetooth, Sirius XM, and 4G LTE Wi-Fi made it to the GX as well, of course. The audio system got an upgrade with the same 6 speakers and the addition of an amplifier. As for convenience features, the GX matches the Encore with push-button start and 2 charge-only USB ports, 1 traditional Type A and 1 Type C. Single-zone manual air conditioning is standard, but the driver gets express up and down windows, and all the other passengers get express down windows, which was different from the standard Encore. In the value category, both vehicles have the same MSRP, but the GX has a few more features than the regular Encore. For that reason, it's going to get the slight advantage in this category. Make sure to check with your local dealer to see if both models have similar sale prices, as the standard Encore might have more incentives to reduce the purchase price. In this category, we take a look at the standard active safety features of each SUV, as well as the passive IIHS ratings of each vehicle. The Encore doesn't have any active safety feature standard, which is rare for any 2020 model vehicle in general. It's usually something I've only seen FCA vehicles struggling with this late in the game. It was rated the highest score of good from the IIHS in every category they test in, except the passenger small overlap and the ease of use for the child seat anchors, which were both rated acceptable. That overlap is probably what's preventing the Encore from being a top safety pick. Unfortunately, the GX hasn't been rated by the IIHS yet, but it's a safe assumption that it will either match or better the Encore's ratings. For the sake of comparison, let's assume they get the same from the IIHS. The GX was brought into the 21st century with a good gamut of active safety technology, including automatic emergency braking with pedestrian detection, lane keeping assist with lane departure warning, forward collision alert, a following distance indicator, auto high beams, and a teen driver feature that sets certain limits on the speed, music volume, and more to report back to parents on how their teen was driving the vehicle. In this category, the GX has a pretty big advantage over the Encore, just in active safety technology alone. Most of today's new car buyers expect some form of forward collision alert and lane keeping system, and you're only going to get that in the GX. The Encore has been stripped of its more powerful engine option from previous years and now only comes with a 1.4-liter turbocharged inline four-cylinder, making 138 horsepower and 148 pound-feet of torque. Power is routed through a 6-speed automatic transmission to all four wheels. Unfortunately, the vehicle weight is too much for this little powertrain, especially with the all-wheel drive system. Reaching 60 miles per hour from a standstill takes an agonizing 9.5 seconds in the Encore. That number is cut down by at least a full second in the GX. The preferred trim of this vehicle comes with an updated Ecotec 1.3-liter turbocharged four-cylinder, making 155 horsepower and 174 pound-feet of twist. These numbers are much more adequate for this size vehicle, and power is routed through a 9-speed automatic in this guise. Ultimately, this is the biggest difference between these two vehicles. One has a sufficient powertrain, and the other has an underpowered one. Advantage here goes to the GX, again by a huge margin. The Encore gets 24 miles per gallon of gas in the city and 29 on the highway, for a combined total of 26 miles per gallon. Despite having a more powerful engine, the GX gets 26 in the city and 29 on the highway, for a combined 28 mpg. Once again, the GX gets the advantage. I get this statistic from Consumer Reports, which extensively tests every new vehicle for sale to assign each a rating from much worse than average to much better than average. The Encore is rated better than average. The GX is actually rated average from the organization, potentially due to the new engine and transmissions it has. In this category, the standard Encore gets the advantage. I use this category to wrap up the loose ends of the comparison and to look at factors that still matter in the buying process that don't necessarily fit into another category, like warranty, cargo space, and space for passengers. Both Encores seat a maximum of 5 people and have a 60/40 split folding rear bench seat. Both also have a 3-year, 36,000-mile general warranty. The Encore GX is a bigger vehicle. It has more cargo space both behind the second row and with that down. It has 23.5 cubic feet of space in the cargo hold compared to 18.8 in the standard Encore, and the GX has 50.2 cubic feet with the second row down compared to the regular Encore's 48.4. This is also echoed in passenger space, where the GX has a few more tenths of an inch in every head, shoulder, and foot measurement, both front and rear. The only place that the GX is smaller is in rear hip room, and it's actually much tighter here at 47.5 inches to the Encore's 50.08. Beyond that one area, it has more room for both passengers and cargo. Advantage returns to the GX in this category, as it has the slight size advantage. Finally, we're going to take a look at the exterior and interior styling of each vehicle. This category is, of course, completely subjective, as beauty is in the eye of the beholder. The Encore's design got an update in 2017 that made the SUV go from a cute, if unserious design to a more mature, understated design. The GX incorporates the best parts of the current design and blends in some new features. The frontal design of each vehicle isn't too dissimilar, but I never loved the rear of the Encore, and I still don't. The GX fixes that mostly, with a more traditional and good-looking, if not anonymous, rear end. It's a design that has been very prevalent in this segment of SUV, and you can see previous iterations of this theme in the 2018 Hyundai Tucson, the Alfa Romeo Stelvio, and even the Corolla IM hatchback. Despite the fact that it isn't unique or bold, it still leaps and bounds better than the Encore. On the interiors, the biggest difference is the layout of the transmission tunnel and the new steering wheel in the GX. The dashboard follows the same general swoopy curves, and the GX does give off a more upscale look than its counterpart. Ultimately, anything beyond the new steering wheel would be nitpicking, as they're very similar. Overall, I will give the advantage to the GX again for the slightly better interior and much improved rear of the vehicle. I hope this comparison cleared up the differences between the two, and you now know which vehicle to pick. I think there's a pretty obvious winner in the GX, and I would like to emphasize that the GX seems like the latest generation of the Encore lineup, despite the fact that they appear to simply be selling the old model in conjunction with the new one. It was better in almost every single way for the same price. The only caveat is that the dealership pricing may vary so that the regular Encore is less expensive than a GX. If that's the case, then you have a choice to make. If not, and the prices are relatively consistent, I can't see one good reason to buy a regular Encore over the same trim line GX. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please feel free to leave a like. Otherwise, have a good day.